Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of Scandal, and oh my goodness. I mean, there was just so much happening. Let's get to it. So, we start off with Mellie, and it's all about Mellie this episode, and it's ridiculous what we find out. I mean, we've always known that Mellie is somebody who will do whatever she can to help Fitz get into the office. And we flash back to 15 years before this when they first meet Cyrus and he's running for governor. And it's all about Big Jerry. And Big Jerry is pushing Fitz to run on his war experience, and Fitz is against it. He doesn't want to do it. And, Jerry berates Fitz and he tells him, you didn't even need to do this. You didn't need to go into the Navy. You're a senator's son, and you look at what you did. You were given a mission and you struck down a plane, and I had to do everything possible to get you as far away from this scandal as possible. And he was part of the cover up. Then it gets crazy, and Jerry goes into a drunken stupor, and he actually tells Mellie the truth about Fitz shooting down this plane. And she's completely gobsmacked. She has no idea what he's talking about. She's like, but it was a mechanical fail. And he's like, that is just what people say. You don't say that when the truth is that there was a dirty bomb on a plane and it was better to kill 219 people rather than let this plane land and blow up, tens of thousands of people. What? So completely crazy. And then this is where it gets horribly bad. Jerry looks at Mellie while she's sitting there in shock over the news that she's just found, and he's like, you really are beautiful. And then he goes in for the kiss. She pushes him away and he rapes her. What? I couldn't even move when it went to commercial. I was in shock. So obviously, the first thing that popped into my mind was, does this mean that their first child is Big Jerry's baby? And then at the end, we get the reveal, the look on her face that she announces to Fitz that she's pregnant right after he's been elected to governor. Oh my goodness. Just ridiculous. And again, I mean, there have been so many layers to Mellie's character, which I have loved. Yes, it's easy to paint her as the villain. It's easy to paint her as the woman that's in the way of Fitz and Olivia getting together, but she is way more than that. She has always been that person who has done everything possible to get him into office. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? But after this horrible thing happens to her, the next morning she doesn't even tell Fitz. She looks at Big Jerry and says, listen, I am not going to say anything, but you need to give Fitz what he wants, and that is an apology. And obviously that apology goes the distance for Fitz, and it is why he then becomes governor, which then allows him to go on to become president. I mean, it is just crazy. Unbelievable. Then we have the case of the week, which is Olivia's mother. So she tells her team everything. They all know now that who her father is, and that he was the one who ordered the plane to be shot down, that her mother was on the plane, and she wants answers. So they're all they're scrambling, they're looking for bits and pieces. They finally find one person who's still alive, and he was the one that was in charge of driving the stairs. So the goal is that Jake is going to meet with him and find out information. So the third storyline that's going on in this episode is Quinn. And Quinn is still on this mission. She's at the driving range. She's trying to get better at shooting her gun, and she's still hanging out with Charlie here. And all of a sudden, one scene comes, and they start making out. She follows him to this stakeout, and he goes, is this what you want? And he kisses her. And you're like, oh my God, Quinn, get away. Like, run. The call is coming from inside the house. He cannot be trusted. Oh my God. So he takes her on this mission, and she just thinks that they're going to drug this guy, and she needs to get past security, and she's going to drug this guy, and Charlie's going to go in and get these files that he needs. Little does she know that when she actually stabs him with the syringe, it's like poison, and she kills him. So she's freaking out. She runs out. She's calling Huck, and Charlie says to her, Huck's not going to like this. You now belong to B613. That's right, people. Quinn is now part of this horrible organization, courtesy of Crazy Charlie and Rowan. So the other reveal in this episode is that Fitz finally finds out who Rowan is. Now, earlier on in the episode, he called Olivia, and of course, she answered. I was like, break the phone, Olivia. And she answers the phone, and, Fitz is Fitz, and he's like, I'm worried about you. I love you. She's like, yeah, I don't care. You need to be honest with me. And she's like, I thought I knew you. I thought I could trust you. And he's like, listen, I can't tell you what you want to hear. And, it's another heartbreaking scene between the two of them. But I'm like, Olivia, dead this now. So they hang up, and that's the last time they talk to each other for the episode. So Fitz has asked the guy who saved Jake's life last week to dig up more information on Rowan and his bandits. And finally, he gets a picture he's digging up information on Olivia's mother. And trying to find out all of that information now that he knows that Olivia's mother was on the plane. And we find out, and Fitz finds out who Rowan actually is, that Rowan is actually Olivia's father. And he is shocked. And it's a great reveal because, we knew, but obviously Fitz does not know, and Cyrus still doesn't know either. So it's just totally crazy. So now when Jake goes to meet this guy who used to drive the stairs to the plane, it turns out it's the person that Quinn just killed. Way to go, Quinn. You lose their only lead. So now that has been destroyed. And meanwhile, this is all happening. Rowan is off to prison to go see an inmate named Omar Dresden. And it turns out to be Olivia's mother. So Olivia's mother has been in prison for like 15 years under the disguise of someone named Omar. I mean, what? Okay, people, I am just gobsmacked, and I am so excited that it is not going on hiatus for 3 more weeks, that we are back to a new episode next week, because I cannot wait. I mean, Shonda, you are killing me with these reveals, and I'm loving it. This show, on fire. Guys, that has been my review for Scandal. It is just too good a show to be missing. I'll see you next week. Bye.